All right. So we have a rolled blanket, and your blanket can just be a pretty flat blanket with a little bit of a rolled edge. So this is definitely something we customize. So if you've already done this and know your body, you can also just try it without any support underneath. So you want to lie down carefully, ease your way over that prop, and as you let your head go back and your arms come out to the sides, just check in and make sure that that's not too aggressive in your spine. And now, so if you need to come up and adjust it, you can come to the side. Just make that roll a little smaller, a little bigger. So we want it to be nice. And we'll stay for 10 to 15 breaths if you're already there. And remember that you can do this without any prop underneath you. Try to find arms that feel open. Getting a heart-focused practice. Let your eyes relax. Just transition from whatever else you were doing. Arrive in the moment. Feel your feet on the earth. Lightly rest your eyes. Hear the sound of your breath. Turning our consciousness to breath sensing. Just feel that settle your consciousness. You might have come with a head full of what you need to do. Let this transition just soften that external to an internal awareness. We want to begin using the nose for the breath. Always free to add some mouth breath as well, but the nose breathing is very calming. Worth kind of clearing it out for a few rounds. Try a breath into your belly. And as you exhale, let your low belly still towards your spine. Maybe feel a little engagement in the pelvic floor as well. And now a rib cage breath. Especially into that back of the heart. And then just relax and breathe several more rounds. Let your brain notice where you touch the earth. And then bring your arms straight up overhead and reach through them a bit. So we'll create a little bit more of a lift in the back, the low back lifting. And then relax elbows downward and bring in your knees. Bring in your head. And I've seen us all do this, rock up to seated, so get a little momentum. And then just let your arms help pull you up as you send your legs forward. And just come to your easy seat. Just take a moment to release from that back bend. And then come to a forward bend. Your own, just hinge from your hips and come into forwardness. Attentive to your hips and your knees. And just come into your own forward to counter that back bending shape. Remembering to find a compassionate version of each pose for your body. And one more time, breathe out. Rise up and into easy twist over to the right. Find that little tone in the low belly. Draw the navel lightly towards the spine, in and up. And turn your head the other way and take one more deep breath. And release your head and your spine back to center. Inhalation, tall spine. Exhalation, twist from your belly over to the other side. Looking back. Try to hold steady. Remember the focusing of the eyes helps focus the brain. Soft to the just step back gaze off the nose. One more breath, looking the other way. And come back to center. Find your heart center with your hands, your sternum, this bony place where your ribcage connects here. We're going to hands there and anchor it and pull downward. And then take your head over towards your right shoulder and back. Just try to find some releasing in your neck. That heavy head of ours. Find a nice place, breathe in. So we're pulling the chin and the hands away from each other a little bit. Take one more breath and relax both of those actions. Take a breath freely. Just feeling the heart center. And let's place the other hand underneath just to balance things out. So press in and pull downward, and then take your head over towards the left a little bit. Just customize. Trying to find a nice release along that front of the chin and neck and chest. All connecting into shoulders. And just be present and breathe with that work. We'll exhale once more. And then carefully release back to center. Take a moment, heart hold. Release your hands together. Bow your chin so your neck lengthens in the back, the shoulders are down. Let your head and your heart come together for a moment of intending. There's the soft breathing. Stay connected. Finish breath. Inhale, fill completely, sit tall. And release your hands behind you with your fingers forward for heart lifting pose. And just lean back into your hands, and we want a nice kind of spiraling outward of energy, just like in downward dog. It's so many of these poses. So hands behind you, letting the shoulders spread wide, lift up your chest, and gaze to your nose. So there's a downward gaze that helps keep the neck long. Bend your elbows, lean back, find your own happy heart lift. Okay, bring that counter gaze downward. And then soften that a bit, release your legs, Navasana, 5 breaths, just one time. So straighten them out if you can, bend your knees if you need to. Oh, and keep your hands in your heart lift. So just let that be easy upper body. Energize your legs, reach through them. One more breath, determination. And bend your knees, release, cross your ankles, and come back to your hands and your knees. Let's come to the knees first. So some of you have sensitive knees. Use that blanket, spread it out, give yourself some cushioning if you can use it. Just take a moment to stay briefly in kneeling, finding hips underneath shoulders and ears, hips over knees, round your feet. And a little shoulder blade exercise and release here. So let your arms just be free. So broaden your shoulder blades. So let your shoulder blades slide out to the side. So you need to let your arms move a little bit too, and then squeeze your shoulder blades together. Really try to find all the way in, squeeze, spread, slide them out across your back. Squeeze. Just try to release tension and strengthen them too. Slide them out. And one more time, squeeze them together. And then find neutral in between. And now come out to your hands and your knees. Focusing on that place we were just working, that thoracic spine, your upper back between the shoulder blades where it's not very flexible. So focus on that as you come into your cow spine. So keep the low back pretty flat. Just try to bring that heart lift energy. Steadily gaze at your nose and keep breathing. Try to soften any walking in your elbows. One more breath. And then tuck your tail down. Let your whole spine round into that middle back. Everything round. Tuck your chin. Feel the weight come out of the hands. About 5 rounds of breath with sound in each pose. And that's 4. One more time. And release to neutral, tuck toes, quarter dog. Sink your hips back. Let your arms be long and your head down. Make sure your toes are happily turned under, not crunched. Gaze back. It's okay to soften your eyes in poses if it helps you come in internal. It's nice to rest the muscles of the vision at times. And let's come over to the right side with both arms. You can lift up your hips, take a little break, come back down, both arms over to the right. Custom. If the toes tucking becomes too much at any point, you can let that go. Yoga helps us have healthy feet. One more exhale, feel complete on this side. Always release slowly from side bending and come over the other way. It's nice to just come up out of quarter dog, back down. Reach the arms both over towards the left. Just let your head follow and relax. The hands get some practice of spreading and grounding here, bearing the weight a little bit. And just one more time, move the breath through. Exhale into the pose, and at the end, release your arms back to center, out to your belly. Cobra pose, legs together, lift your chest. Leading with your heart. Take your hands away, breathe a few more times. Exhale, lower. Press forward and down into your hands, elbows in. Transition to your downward dog shape here. It's an upside down V. Start with your hands. Look at them, make sure they're a little wider than your shoulders, spiraling outward. And then let your head bow down as your arms press straight. Your spine lifts up towards your hips. And let's start with the knees a little bent. Find that long spine. Belly lift, that's where the gaze goes, towards the belly. Then release your right heel towards the floor. Lift it up and press the left heel towards the floor. And just go a few more times each way. Allow both heels to reach equally. It's fine if your knees are bent. And focus on your heart. One more deep breath, trying to release the heart towards the earth as you breathe out. Exhale. And then use inhale to step forward, halfway lift, stretching that in breath. Fold forward, stretching that out breath. Soften your knees as needed. Come up to standing, press your feet into the earth. Use your legs, lengthen your spine, roll your shoulders back. And just arrive in your standing pose. Yes, little clothing adjustment. And just right into your yoga mind, your yoga breath. Feel everything. Reaching for the sun, a huge source of prana. Breathing in. Breathe out, keep your length, fold forward, gaze up towards your navel. Halfway lift, horizon gaze. Exhale, spread hands, bend knees, go back to plank. Whichever leg first, try to get yourself nice and flat, bring your knees down if you need to. Feel empowered, the whole body strong here. One more breath makes 5. And then bring your knees down where they are. Hug in your elbows, and 5 times you're gonna dip the heart towards the floor, hug them in, and press the arms straight. Second one, go as low as you can and still get back up. 2, 3, twice more, press. Once more, press up. And then bring your belly forward, roll your shoulders back, upward dog. Carefully come into the shape. So the legs are helping drive the pose. Position your knees down or lifted. Stretch your belly, gaze down. Release to table. And downward facing dog. You can do your low quarter dog instead if you like. 5 breaths. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Find that upside down V. Good. Head hangs free. Nabhi Drishti, that's the navel focus. You may not be able to see, and that's totally fine. Just looking back and up. Gently encouraging your heels to reach for the floor. Even if your knees are bent, there's still that reaching through the heels. One more breath. Exhale, weight back into your legs. Inhale, shift weight back to your hands and step forward. Stretch up to half lift. Fold into your exhalation wherever your hands reach. Release all the way forward. Take your hands to your waist. Practice good mindful standing practice. So feet press, knees bend a little bit. So first use the legs and let your spine lengthen up. Strong belly, strong legs, arms up. Release your feet and exhale down to your heart center. Taking 3 breaths to feel the energy of practice. Lift elbows. Let your hands release and open wide next time you breathe in. Reach, gaze. Keep length, forward fold, all with mindfulness. Halfway lift, so an inhalation to establish the pose, and an exhalation to take your right leg back. High lunge. You can use blocks if you have them on either side. A worthy investment. They last forever. And breathing out, transition to nectar of the moon pose. So our back foot is going to come over to a side plank. So you've got side plank on the right, and then your left toes try to turn out towards the left. Use your hands for support, and if you can, lift up your left arm. Remember to press firmly into the earth. Draw upon your belly strength, your whole body. Everything participates. Just one more breath. Release your arm down and transition to lizard lunge. So release your back foot and bring your knee down. Let your front foot angle anywhere out to the side with the arms on the inside. Just let's have a nice little release for our own bodies. So you can do a little movement. It's okay if you lift your back knee again. Find a steady place now and hold a few more breaths. Deeply breathe again. Exhale, begin to release your leg back so that you can come to upward dog. So hands pretty far away to make room for that long spine of yours to lengthen forward. 5 breaths. Inner thighs roll up, gaze down. A determined lift out of the shoulders. And it's nice to move through table, or you can go right to downward dog. Table first, and then downward dog 5. Trusting this pose. If you want to customize it a little bit, maybe taking hips out side to side, or anything that brings you positive work. Settle into center and stillness. 2 more breaths. Exhale, weight back. So there's this nice uplift in the belly, and it helps you step forward on the other side. High lunge first. Refine and then hang into your pose. We don't really hang into it, we hang out. Very much holding ourselves away from the earth. Bringing strength and groundedness. Nectar of the moon pose, exhale. So transition your back foot over to the side. Come on the inside with your hands and turn your front foot out as well. It doesn't have to go all the way. So we're in a side plank. You can keep both arms on the floor or take up your right arm if you would like. Really press your left heel of your hand. Use both feet. Probably the hardest thing we're going to do today. One more deep breath. Release carefully out of those actions into lizard, which is a more restful pose. Pick up and reset your hands. Find a nice place to do a little movement or stillness the whole time. Lift up out of your shoulders. And relax and be still. Let your exhales be where you gently see if there's any more space. One more time. Release into your hips. And then carefully step back to the top of your mat, finishing out this sequence. Fold forward, breathe out, and stay for 5. Take your favorite, hands under feet, elbow holding. What's your favorite? Come back to symmetrical, deep waves of breath. Nadi Drishti. So we really release our neck in the yoga practice. And breathe out once more. Hands to waist, practice that mindful standing using the legs like you're lifting something heavy like yourself. Coming up, let your arms release up as well. When your exhale comes, elbows up, hands rest at the heart. Even standing. And stepping out your right leg for warrior B. So bring it back. Bend your front knee over your ankle. So the back toes turn out towards the side with the hips. So we actually have to turn our heads to look forward and reach through both arms. Nice balance in the front and the back body here. Sometimes we'll overly lift the front body. Just bring a nice lift to the back body as well. Mindful of a centered knee bend. And breathe out, get a little lower and come to your favorite reverse warrior shape. You can work your hands together if you like, or just reaching back with your top arm. Third breath. Last one. Try to find a softness everywhere. And release your arms, straighten your front leg and come to a triangle with a little bit of a wide stance, over and down, round and open. So lightly sending your gaze, it's fine if it's your peripheral gaze towards your reaching hand. Steady breathing, steady gazing. Exhale. Inhale up and over to the other side, warrior B. Go ahead, just turn in the back of your mat, turn your toes out, bend your knee. Back toes turning to the side. Float out your arms, turn your head. Remember that balance in the front and back rib cage. Exhale, reverse warrior. Come in. Bring it together in your own way. Just find that nice heart lift. Steady in the leg position. And exhale, transition to a spread out triangle pose. Just a little wider stance possibly than you usually do. Peripheral gaze or full on gazing up. This pose, we lengthen across the heart center, but this is really a belly center pose, radiating from your Manipura chakra, solar plexus. One more time. Breathe in as you come up and turn to wide parallel feet. And exhale, release your arms. Just make sure your stance is comfortable. Trying a little standing back bend. So back bends have a strong foundation, feet ground, legs strong. And bring your pelvis forward a little bit. Lift yourself up into your ribs. So back bending is really about lengthening. If it feels good to head back a little bit, just keep your rib cage lifted all the way. And then take your hands back to your sacrum and just lean back and up as you press your pelvis forward. Not too far. The pelvis is strong. It resists the pressing. Just has that forward energy. One more time. Breath. Nose gaze. Slowly release and come to forward fold. So do this slowly, going from one to the other. Take your own favorite. Let your head gently lengthen towards the earth. Low belly flies upward. There's softness in your knees, even if your legs are straight. Once more, deep breath. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, relax. Reach out your arms, palms down. Come behind you, wave your fingers. Inhale, try that standing back bend with the arms interlaced. So just a little bit. So it ends up leading with the heart, downward gazing, anchored in the feet. Breathe out again. And lead with your heart to come up. So practice lifting your heart first. Release your arms and spin your toes out. Goddess squat, wide squat, knees out towards the feet, up the toes, down the center. Find your balance, concentration. Right elbow under the left and lift elbows, lower hips. The eyes steady and soft. Enjoy one more breath. Inhale up to star pose, maybe lifting the heels as well. Exhale down the center. Second side, left elbow under the right. Fingers towards the sky, lift elbows, lower hips. Customize. Breathe into that upper spine, that thoracic spot behind your shoulder blades. Find your heart. One more exhale. Squeeze your glutes to come up, out to star, heels down. And exhale, release back to the top of your mat. Taking a free breath. Parsvottanasana. Take your right leg back. Find your balance with your legs straight, hips forward. Feel the roots of your big toes. And bring your arms behind us by internally rotating the shoulders. So roll your thumbs in and down so that turns your shoulders in. Reach back as far as you can for a moment. Take a breath. And then bring your knuckles together. Start low in your body when you do this. Or your fingertips. Don't hurt anything. Work your way up to a comfortable place. This will develop over time. Just little bits. Give it time and patience and practice. Breathe in, lengthen. Think back bend. So we do a little bit of a lift. And then take that lift into a forward fold. Gaze to the toe or the shin. Keeping the elbows lifted. Press the hands or fingers. Long on the sides of the body. And just one more breath, give it your energy. Exhale, complete. Inhale to stand, press the feet, turn to the back of your mat. So slide your hands down a bit to ease up. Find your balance on the back of your mat. Square into the back. Same pose, other side. So breathe in, lengthen. Breathe out, fold. Keep elbows lifted. Go slowly into the pose and find your own range of motion. And just let your spine lengthen. Legs straighten. Steady eyes and light. One more exhalation. See if there's a little bit more space or just think about that idea. Use inhale to come up, gently back. And release your arms down and away. Transition to warrior A. A little more space. Stay facing the back of your mat. Bend your knee. Square your hips towards the back of the mat. And take your arms up, shoulders down. Thumb gaze, just lightly. Everything is warrior A right now. And just give it one more breath. Settle in on your exhale. Find your depth. Hands to heart. Follow your thumbs. Turn to the front of your mat. Square yourself around. Bend your knee. Hide your upward reach. Shoulders down as you're ready. Light upward gaze. And fourth breath. One more time. Enjoy, invigorate, find your full version of this. And let your hands go. Bring your hands down and take your leg back. Knees down, upward dog. One breath in. One breath out, downward dog. And then coming down to your knees, add a cushion if you need it. I'm going to come into, it's a pretty nice idea to have a blanket or a thick mat. Come into a low lunge. Just let your arms hang. Feel that openness here from the practice so far. Just a freedom in the front shoulders and chest. And then bringing your knee out towards your toes. Weave your fingers. Stretch your chest as you come to Anjaneyasana. Gaze down towards your nose. Fourth breath. Last one. Really press into your front foot to release. Take your arms away and change other side. Bringing that low lunge. Freedom in the arms, hands, shoulders. Feel the energy of the body moving. Weave your fingers and then take it the least natural way. So we do that easy way and then do the way that feels a little less natural. So we do both ways. Again, knee forward towards the toes. Lift your rib cage, stretch your chest, gaze down. Lots of weight in that front foot. Keep pressing. One more time. Breathe out. Press your front foot to release. Take your knee back. Come to heart chakra pose. So we keep the hips over the knees. Come down to the hands. Walk forward until you feel that you can release your heart towards the floor. So trying to keep the knees up. So this is different from what am I thinking of? A quarter dog pose. Hips are high. We're trying to let the shoulders relax, open, and bring your heart towards the floor. Big toes together can be helpful, just some stability. Feel that broadening under your armpits, spread your hands. Trying not to sink back towards the heels. Once more. Relax down to your forearms. A little bit of a cow spine. And then work yourself out to your belly. Lift your legs. Lift your chest. Breathe. Lengthen everything. One more breath. Lengthen, lift, and activate. And relax. Exhale. Dhanurasana. Let's do a preparation first. So bend knees, lift your feet towards the sky. If possible, just bring, so palms facing in. Reach for your ankles. If you can't reach your ankles, just keep lifting your feet and use your hands on the floor. So once you take the ankles, lift your chest, gaze to your nose. Fourth breath, let yourself continue to breathe deeply. And exhale, relax and release. Turn your head to the right, lift your legs and everything, release. Little belly ground. Turn your head to the other side. Exhale. Press forward and down, come on up, and bring your right knee up between your hands, pigeon pose variation. You can recushion under your back knee. Square up into pigeon. Bend your back knee. If possible, go back and reach for it and draw it towards you. Intense release across the front of the hip. Work in a place where it's positive. So we're very attentive in our practice. That's why our minds are right here, so we can take good care of ourselves. Give it one more round of breath. And release your back leg and come sit down on that right hip. Transition to Jani Ustrasana. Straighten out your left leg and bring yourself forward and down slowly. Release. Lightly draw the navel back. Embracing, welcoming the calming quality. And so you know you have one more breath. Let that inhale lift you slightly, lengthen you, and exhale, lengthen and go back down. Inhale, release, second side, pigeon pose, folded knee. Take your other leg straight back and square yourself. So make sure your arms are in a position of power so you can lift out of your shoulders. And then keep that left hand on the floor. Bend your back knee, maybe reach back. So I'm doing an internal hold, but you can do either way. Just trying to bring that foot towards you. And freeing our front bodies from lots of tension today. Gaze towards your nose, soft eyes. All is impermanent. Just one more time. The breath moves through and releases. Release your leg, bring it out to the side, toes towards the sky, and ease into Jani Ustrasana, head to knee pose. Deeply breathe again. Use that technique of finding a little more space as you inhale, lift and lengthen. As you exhale, lengthen and fold. Find that sweet finishing place for today. And then breathe in and come up. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, or just come to your knees with your cushion. So an optional flow through, up dog, down dog, and kneeling position. So cushion on something you would like. Let's take a moment to come to your kneeling pose and hit the tops of your feet a few times. Really connect. And now find your sternum again with your dominant hand. Just bring your fingers together and we're just gonna thump the center of the chest. Just waking up energy in the body. Waking up this particular part of the body. And release your hand, continue to feel. Bring your feet back behind your knees. So Ustrasana, the whole practice has prepared us for camel pose. I'll do a version of this that's safe. So let's start with a nice beginning version. Hold your waist. So remember what we've done so far today. We have lifted our whole rib cage and broader pelvis forward and other back bends. And just finding that position for yourself. Lengthen and lift, and then exhale, go straight back. So don't bend your legs, just try to lean straight back, trusting your balance. Maybe bring your hips back in space a little bit now. Just be straight in your body, straight, straight. And leading with your sternum to come up. So you can thump it again to help you remember, or just use your brain, ask yourself to come up and relax. Repeat that or 2 more times, or do the second variation. We're gonna tuck under the toes, bring up the heels higher. Take the arms open, lean back. So if it's available to reach your heels, just try to be light in your fingers. Lift your heart, downward gaze. One more breath. And leading with your chest, come up with your chest first. Release your feet, pause. So third one, either of those, or taking the heels with the feet flat. So lift up, go back, release your arms. So if you need your toes, tuck them. Reach for your heels, lift your heart. And only take your head back if that feels okay. Keep a downward gaze. Head back, take a third eye gaze. Breathe one more time. Press into the earth. Lead with your chest and carefully come up. Bend your knees, sink down. You can bring your legs together. And just neutralize for a few breaths. If you need to be in easy seat, that's okay. Calming down the energy of the back bending poses. And shifting forward to Balasana. Maybe try stacking your fists and resting your forehead on them. Let your back body lengthen. Bringing peace to the body and the breath and the mind. One more exhale. And then release your legs and lie down. Bring in your knees. And then come to Supta Ustrasana, where you take your left leg towards you, reach your right leg away. Point both sets of toes. Bend the knees as needed. And letting energy flow. One more time, lift, bow in, fold in, and release back, change the legs. Bow in if you have not already, bow in, release back, and taking your legs up. A nice way to finish this practice would be legs up at the wall or on a piece of furniture, or just legs up in the air. So let yourself have that choice. Just continuing to neutralize, balance the body's energy. resting phase. Let's transition to knees in. Feet together, knees apart. Bring your legs down. Soften everything. If it feels lovely in your body to keep your legs in this position, you can keep them here as you rest. Or they might prefer to stretch out and open away from each other. And just letting your body rest and receive. The eyes softly closed. Releasing all around your face, your jaw. Let your brain rest. Let your body rest. Making sure that you are comfortable. The breath is a supportive force. Just let it do its own natural thing. You still be present with it. Be aware of letting go. The process of dropping back. This morning, the goldenrod are all wearing their golden shirts, fresh from heaven's soft wash in the chill night. So it must be a celebration. And here comes the wind. So many swinging wings. Has he been invited, or is he the intruder? Invited, whisper the golden pebbles of the weeds as they begin to fall over the ground. Well, you would think the little murmurs of the broken blossoms would have said otherwise, but no. So I sit down among them to think about it while all around me the crumbling goes on. The weeds let down their seedy faces cheerfully, which is the part I like best. And certainly it is as good as a book for learning from. You would think they were just going for a small sleep. You would think they couldn't wait. It was going to be that snug and even, as all their lives were full of excitation. You would think it was a voyage just beginning and no darkness anywhere, but tinged with all necessary instruction and light, and all were striving, as all around the world is. And so it wasn't anything but easy to fall, to whisper good night. Weave your fingers together in front of your chest. Press the palms towards the sky and reach them up. And then overhead. Reach down through your toes. And release your fingers, arms down by the sides, all the way to stillness. And transition to seated pose. Bringing in your knees, coming to one side. Bring yourself upright. Come to a favorite seated position. You could come back to your folded knees if you like that, or tucking toes in between calves. Find your own easy seat. Rest your hands on your legs. Be present with the quality of the mind from the practice. Having just a few moments of breathing with your awareness turned inward is meditation. Let's breathe from the right side of the nose to the left a few times, using your hand or just using your brain. Again, right side to left. And now left side to right. Again, left side to right. Both sides. Let it stretch, let it grow, and let it go. It's more like that. Stretch your inhalation slowly, calmly. Keep filling, and then let it go when it's ready. A deep release. Hands gather together. Brain gathers towards the heart. Inhale, lift your chin. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Thank you. Namaste. I welcome your questions. If there's something that you're